Sure. Well, first of all, thank you to the team. I mean, I know I've had now 2 briefings, my team and then me personally, over the last few weeks to dive into the weeds, and just really appreciative of the work. And I think I want to acknowledge that this is really challenging. I mean, you all are doing something really difficult, which is working across all the different aspects of the enterprise, and that is hard. Different cultures, different focuses, different foci, different orientation towards what is the mission and what is the work. So Holly, I know you've been really trying to get all the cats in going in the same direction, and Sayon, and I appreciate all that. I think this is really a solid foundation. I've conveyed before, I hope we can continue to build on this, and I know there's more that we want to be doing moving forward. But I think that you've really put together, frankly, with a lot of effort and a lot of work, I know it was not easy, a really thoughtful structure to guide this work across all the different parts of the agency. And I think it's the right structure. I think it's really promising. I'm also really excited about these evaluation components. And as I've told Ricardo, I think this is incredibly important. I strongly support the approach of evaluation. I do hope we can identify, as I mentioned previously, like 1 or 2 kind of high impact initiatives that we're looking to launch, that we can kind of be starting to do some impact assessments on, so that we can really report out sooner rather than later what's really working and what's making a difference for our community, and not just kind of wait and not to let the perfect be the enemy of the good on and kind of figuring out how to evaluate these programs. So that's not new, but just to sort of share that again for my colleagues as well, because that was something we had discussed. Brandon, I'm very excited about this Fair Chance Act. I think it's really smart. This is obviously a huge barrier to people who've served their time, and legally they have every right to be able to get a job, but they can't get a job, and they're being discriminated against by employers against the law. Remains a huge barrier for people to be able to successfully rebuild their lives. And so I think that this kind of coupled with the education, I think the kind of combination between the ordinance that has an enforcement, it's a probably 90% education, but it's always good to have your 10% of a stick as well. It creates good incentives around education. So I think that's very wise. So I have only all sorts of really positive things to say. I think this is really exciting. I think ultimately what this is about is ensuring the best outcomes for members of our community, and not just putting people in jail and saying, okay, you're gonna rot there, see you later, right? It's like, oh no, let's really focus on how we can create the best opportunities and the best outcomes for individuals. So I think that this is taking us in the right direction. I also want to acknowledge that there is probably a lot more that we're going to be called on to do by community partners, and I hope we can continue to strive to do that, to do more, not just say, oh, we're doing a good job, but to say, okay, we're doing a good job, but how can we do a lot better? Kind of continually aiming to do more. So again, really incredibly grateful for the leadership and the hard work of kind of working through all these really difficult issues. And I think we're really going in the right direction. I'm happy to second that motion. I think the only other comment I would say is we have a new member of our Board of Supervisors who was not here when this was launched, and she has a long track record of fighting to improve outcomes for justice-involved individuals in our community. And I really hope you take some time to do a deep dive with Supervisor Montgomery Stepp on this initiative and figure out what else we're missing and what else should we be doing, and really kind of center her perspective, because she wasn't here when this got started, and I think that perspective is probably missing. So she's next, but that's the tee up.